safety net.
Hello again. I hope you're getting something out of this series and that you're listening carefully to all of these real-life people who have lots of helpful things to say to you. In this program, we're going to take a look at who can help you after you get released. We're going to talk about people who can help you get a job, and we're going to hear about factors in your life that can affect your job. But before we get started, I would like to mention one thing, and that is substance abuse. We're not going to spend a lot of time with that issue because that's not what this program is about. But clearly, if you have a substance abuse problem, getting help with it has to be your #1 priority if you want to keep a job. You should also know that many employers will require random drug screening tests. So if you're serious about work, you better be prepared. So in terms of who can help you and who might not be so helpful, let's start with your family. One of the hardest things you may have to do is honestly consider if you need to put some distance between you and your family. Are they helping you or not? It's a tough question. However, if you have family that is supportive, then it is best to be very honest with them and talk to them about how they can help.
I would say you got to be straight off with your parents. Depending on the relationship you have, obviously in each case is different by step. But I would try to tend to be fairly straightforward with them. Let them know what you're doing, especially if they're a help. If they're not a help and they're an hindrance to you, then maybe you have to step away and look for somebody else that can mentor you and help you out. And there are plenty of people out there that would love to help people out, for sure.
I'll be honest, whether it's worrying them or not, at least they know your problems. You know what I'm saying? I think you should come to your parents honest, you know what I'm saying? Be you, don't come like trying to be somebody. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be something that you're not. Your parents know you best, you know. Whether it's worrying them or not, I still come to them with my problems.
I'm very open. I don't have a father figure in my household. He's in my life, but not in my household. So it's my mother, me and my mother, and also my grandmother. I'm very open. So if I go through anything, I tell them from jump start. It's not no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I let them know what's going on. And 9 times out of 10, they give me their opinion and what they feel like I should do. She's really going to be helpful no matter what goes on. She's going to have my back.
Not knowing is pain. The unknown, the fear. And that's what parents are all about, is to help their offspring. Teaching them and guiding them, helping them to make right choices. Can't help them to make right choices if they don't know what's going on or direction. Children should ask a lot of questions.
Now let's take a look at your friends and people who may not really be your friends after all.
If I go out, once I get released, and go back and see a couple friends that I had when I was out, and they're like, hey man, let's go do this one night, knowing in the back of my mind that what they're talking about doing could lead to problems. Like you said, for instance, going to a club, anything can happen. I can go to this club, somebody can get shot, somebody can get beat up, and happen to be one of my friends that did it. Therefore, that's conspiracy. I'm coming back to prison for being around negative people.
If he was on the right track, I might be around him. I might, you know, if he's on, like one of my friends now, he's got on the right track now. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's working, he stays away from drugs, he got a wife, he's got a kid. Somebody like that, you know, I'd go back around him because we help each other, you know, it just wouldn't be me. I'd have problems and stuff. He had the same problems, and we could lean on each other when times got tough. But if they're not, I ain't gonna go around him. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it taking a chance. I don't want to come back to this place.
Now let's look at how you relate to another important set of people in your life, parole officers and the police.
You should be able to talk to your parole officer, but they are not necessarily your friend. They are not against you. They're not there to hurt you, but you are probably never going to become real chummy with them. You should respect them as they should respect you. You know, probation is so simple. It really isn't a difficult task. There are basic conditions because it's very simple. You report once a month. That's all that's required of you unless there's a problem. If you don't have a job, maybe you would report once a week because you would be put on a job search. But all you have to do is report and pay your money. And even with the paying the money, if you really don't have the money and you make an effort, we will accept that. It really is easy to report. Don't use any drugs while you're on probation and do what's requested. It's not a difficult thing.
Youth dealing with the law enforcement after they're released from prison, a lot of times when they're arrested, they blame the police officer. When they go to prison, they blame the police officer. But what needs to happen is this. After they're released, they need to take the blame on themselves because the police officer is not the one that made them commit the crime. They chose to do the crime. The police officers are just doing their jobs. So when you come out, you need to take that responsibility upon yourself and say, this is something I've done, and now I'm willing to face it, and I'm willing to forget about it and go forth with my life. Once that happens, they will find out that there's a lot of anger that is released from them, and they can go forward with their lives.
You know, when the police do walk by you, or they drive by you, or they slow up behind you, you know, it does make you a little nervous, but it's like, I'm not doing nothing wrong, so why let them intimidate me, you know? And I don't believe all the police officers I came in contact with since I've been out, they're not out to get me. They're not. As long as you're not doing nothing, they're not out to get you.
So these people, friends, family, parole officers, and law enforcement officials can directly impact your ability to get a job and hold a job. So it's important that you try to keep these relationships healthy. But now let's talk about who can help you find a job. You might just be planning on asking around or looking in the classified ads. But there are some folks who offer a much better option, and they do it for free. They're who we call employment service providers because they provide services to help people find jobs. Now, some of these services are church programs, which are what we call faith-based service providers, but don't require you to be a member of their church. They just want to help.
We do have a special understanding of the ones who are being released from prison here at the One Stop Vision Center, because we have seen individuals get out of prison, go back to the world of drugs, go back to the same neighborhoods in which the neighborhood did not send them there, but they chose to hang around the same people and they went back. In this one location, we have a food pantry, we have a medical facility, we have a clothes closet, we have extensive counseling. We deal with a lot of anger management counseling with our participants as well. We have the job readiness. We have the mentoring, whereas we pour into their lives in order to lead them in the right direction, to give them a vision so they can keep the victory in their life.
A faith-based organization like the One Stop Vision Center may be the kind of service provider that would be best for you. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with working with many different service providers at once. We encourage it. Believe me, you will have plenty of choices. In fact, there are so many employment service providers that it can be confusing. They often have similar sounding names, and they're listed in many different places in the phone book. In the back of your workbook, you'll find a guide to the sections in a phone book where these services are likely to be listed, so be sure to hang on to it. The one thing you need to remember is to use the free services, like the ones in this program. Now we're going to focus on one of your best choices, government service providers, because there are locations for them everywhere in the country. They're usually called one-stop career centers or workforce centers, and they're free.
Workforce centers are really what is called one-stop career centers. Go to one place and you can access a wide variety of services that are designed to help you find employment or to build a career. When you first walk in, you're probably going to be greeted by a receptionist or a greeter. Some places may want you to go to a short orientation or watch a video. Other places will just say, we need you to fill out a work application. They'll hand you an application and expect you to fill it out and then bring it back to whomever they tell you to bring it out again. But it is that work application that is the most important thing that you're going to do in that center for some time. So the more care you can take with your application, the better off you are. You're going to see an employment interviewer or an employment resource specialist or whatever their name is, and that person's job is to find out more about you and what you know how to do so that they can put it into their computer system and help you find work, be able to look at their jobs that they have on file and match you up with a job or a referral to a job so then you can go out and talk to that employer. We're going to give you a referral card or a referral letter. It's going to give you instructions for contacting that employer. Sometimes it means you have to call ahead and make an appointment. Sometimes it means you'll just show up. Whatever the employer wants is what we're going to tell you to do on the card, and then you're going to take that card or letter and follow those instructions. Some days we'll give you 2 or 3 depending on what we have in our system, and almost every system's that way, but no one's going to give you 20 or 30 because you don't have that much time. So they may say, you know what, go check on these 3 or 4 jobs. If this doesn't work out, we want you to come back and we'll look and see if there's anything else and we'll refer you out on that job.
These one-stop career centers are a fabulous resource. The only thing you have to do is spend some time with a telephone book and a telephone to find the one nearest you.
This is the first step of becoming a detective upon your release, because in every state of the Union and in every county, it seems that everyone's taken on a different title for their one-stop career centers. So you have to be creative. You have to look in the government pages under employment, probably look in the yellow pages under employment, and look for things that indicate it's probably government sponsored.
So clearly, you have a lot of things to consider about what kind of people and what kind of services can help you after release. One of your first classroom exercises will be to start making a list of who can help you. That way, you can start planning now about how your life will be after release. It's one of the smartest things you can do. See you next time.